timing.
All right. Greetings, heroes, world citizens. Welcome to So What Did I Miss? The news show where we scour the headlines for all the scour the internet for all the headlines and geek culture news. So you don't have to.
Scour the headlines for all the internet.
I screwed it up. Yep. I'm your host, Chris, the news guy. That's it. I'm done hosting.
We're done. We're 1 minute. We're out.
My co-host below me is Pat. Say hi, Pat.
What's up, guys?
And on our panel today, reacting to news and maybe even offering some great hot takes, is the co-host of the Sidekick Show, John Ho. Say hi, John.
Yes.
And Rob from the from the 905.
Hello, Chris. You're doing a good job, buddy. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
All right.
Now you're not talking. Now you're doing a bad job.
Okay,
you have to
okay. So
you have to fill that space.
Our main stories today. So to start
with
off,
internets from the headlines.
I knew I was going to screw that up.
If only you had written it out in front of you.
We are going to start again this week with corporate acquisition news. Everyone's favorite.
Yes.
Online shopping giant Amazon has acquired MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. The MGM studio responsible for great franchises like Bond, Rocky, the late night background TV show Shark Tank, among others. So they're great money there. So I guess the question is, so the main property of this is Bond. So what does this mean for Bond? Everyone's asking, what does this mean for Bond? So let's throw it to Rob first. He's a huge Bond fan. What does this mean for the Bond franchise going forward?
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So that is the big question: does Amazon now have the rights and ownership of James Bond? And the quick answer is no. The more complicated answer is because MGM does own partial rights of Bond, but they split those rights with Eon Productions. Eon is owned and operated by Barbara Broccoli. Her dad, Cubby Broccoli, was the original producer of all the Bond movies, as well as her, I think it's a half brother, Michael Wilson. At any rate, they have a very specific contract in place, whereas it says that they have complete ownership and control of the movies, of the actors, of the directors, of script. Like, they oversee everything. I'm not really sure. I think MGM does a lot of the distribution, maybe some of the back end money, and that's why they do have a partial ownership of it. But as it pertains to Bond in and of itself, unless Jeff Bezos is willing to throw in a bunch of cash for Eon Productions, it's going to stay with Eon, with the family. You will see, obviously, I'm sure that they'll have the Bond movies will be on Amazon, but people are wondering, well, this new Bond movie, No Time to Die, it's supposed to be out this fall. Will it be on Amazon exclusively, like coming to America too? No, it won't be. It will be in theaters. And I personally suspect the next 3 to 4 Bond movies over the next 10 years will be strictly in theaters. They will not be going to Amazon as a streamer. So we can just remember, like a few months ago, Apple was looking and potentially $600 million just to buy that one movie, and the deal fell through. So that's where we are with that. Bond will not be part of the Amazon proper, but there will be ties. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing some type of Alexa integration in the next few movies.
All right, sounds good. So they basically paid around $8 billion for Bond. John, did they overpay?
I have no clue. Hopefully they can afford bottoms for chairs. That's my only stipulation. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a lot to play for James Bond when you have.
But it's not just for James Bond.
No, obviously, but I'm like, you have all these other options out there. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was my question. That was what I was going to ask. What other franchises are there that MGM actually has that's relevant?
Well, so right now, I mean, they've got the Rocky franchise. You're like, okay, big deal. But that also it consists of the Creed franchise. They've got the RoboCop franchise, which is being rebooted. They have the Stargate stuff. And it's not just the movies. It was the TV shows. There's the games. And when it comes into the actual TV realm, they are Survivor is the big one right now. Shark Tank, like Chris said. They have the Handmaid's Tale series as well. So. And it's all their back catalog, if you really want to go as far back as I think Casablanca and everything else. And it's really funny, actually. The one franchise that kept popping up in every article was the Pink Panther. Like, there hasn't been a Pink Panther movie since like the late 70s or mid 70s with Peter Sellers. So I don't know why the Pink Panther is being relevant.
I'm pretty sure there was a movie with Leslie Nielsen.
Okay, they may have done a remake, a reboot back in the 90s or early 2000s, but we don't count that one. So, but yeah, so there is thousands. There's thousands and thousands of titles that MGM does own, but obviously the most striking one that pops into people's head is the James Bond franchise, and they won't have. They'll have part ownership, but they will not have complete control over it. In
the articles I read, a lot of them, one of the first things they mentioned was Legally Blonde for some reason. Maybe there's a resurgence of Legally Blonde coming down the future. There's
a stage play right now. There's a stage play and there's a reboot of that happening. So, yeah.
So it seems like it's a play to bolster the streaming services. Are they a player with these types of franchises, Pat? What do you think? Are they a player in the streaming wars?
I mean, we're just basically adding yet another streaming service that you have to have, right? But at least with Amazon Prime, you get it with Amazon Video, right? But can you imagine, like I was saying before, you have yet another streaming service because you want to watch all the Bond movies? Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
But it's not necessarily streaming now. It's now content ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's a very distinct, like there's a fine distinction between streaming rights and content ownership. So sorry?
Steve Martin, yes, that's it. Not
That's
that
right, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Did it have Beyonce in it too, I think?
I think you're thinking Austin Powers.
I Johnny Mnemonic wiped it from my memory.
I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like remember when Netflix first came out, it was supposed to be like Blockbuster. You can get everything for a price. Now you can't.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're back to the situation of like, having multiple services to get the stuff you want to watch. Remember when Netflix was like a DVD drop-off box, like a red box?
Yeah, it was like a vending machine, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a vending machine, right? Like it's brutal.
There you go, Beyonce. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Really Angry Lobster, for clarifying that. Did you enjoy that movie?
Angry Lobster for why he knows this.
Hey, if he could be part, or he or she could be part of the Beehive, so yeah.
But Pat makes a very good point. Listen, when Netflix came out, there was no competition. Everybody was cutting their cable. How many news stories every night in national news across the North America? People were like concerned about cord cutters. That was a thing. People were cutting their cable and they were going to streaming into Netflix. And now people are saving all that money. And now you've got Netflix, you've got Disney, you've got Crave or HBO Max, you've got Amazon, you've got Shudder, you have like on and on and on and on and on. Now, where does it stop? So yeah, so Pat's right. But what this does though is it just consolidates that content. So I personally, my 2 cents is I think you are going to see it being very much like how the media landscape in Canada, you used to have multiple media ownership partners, and now you only have a few. You've got Rogers, you have Bell, you have Shaw, which owns TELUS, and a couple independents, and that's about it. So that's where I think they will start moving towards.
All right, great. Can't wait till next week when we find out the next production company bought by a streaming service here.
Well, yeah, but like you say,
the corporate acquisition.
Revised store in Idaho or something.
The last Blockbuster. But don't listen. A news story broke this week about Bob Iger said they were very close to buying, like Disney was close to buying Warner Brothers.
Ooh, wow.
That would have been crazy.
And then Warner's said, "Oh, we're in negotiations with AT&T," and instead they directed to Fox instead. But we were this close to Disney owning DC.
Disney owning Marvel and DC under the same umbrella. Wow.
It's crazy.
Anyways.
All right. Moving on to the next thing. So Monday, Marvel released its much anticipated teaser for the movie Eternals. Now, we did a care reaction, so check that out. I feel like it was met with a lot of, I guess, mixed feelings. What I would say is it's obvious that watching that teaser, Marvel is trying to go for something else, like something different, a different kind of 100%. Movie. I would say, I guess, underline what upon reflection and thinking about that, has Marvel like basically created enough leeway where they can do something like this, where they can make a movie that's totally different and sell it and still be successful? What do you think, Pat?
I think this trailer actually made me more excited for this movie than previously, because now I actually want to see what's happening. If they actually just made it like another like superhero style movie, I'd be like, I don't know anything about the Eternals. I don't care about the Eternals, right? Why would I want to watch yet another like action movie? But this movie doesn't look anything like it. So yes, I guess they've earned enough goodwill throughout the past couple of years that I'm willing to sit through another 2 hours to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right. Personally,
it's choosing a property, fairly obscure property like
Mhm.
Eternal, them licensed to do something like that. John, what do you think, comic guy in the house?
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. And people got at us in the comments. Our initial reaction was like, oh, okay, what was that, right? So, but I think Pat exactly hits it on the head. They're doing something different. A lot of people have suggested we kind of maybe go back and watch the director's other movies, and you'll kind of get the feel for it going forward. And Marvel has banked enough of, I don't know if you'd call it street cred or whatever, that they can be like, yeah, we don't need to hook you with this first teaser because you're going to watch it anyways. So let's just be more artistic about it. So I think Pat is exactly right that we should be open to kind of different stuff than the typical action Marvel formula. So I think that's good.
It's true. Is Marvel going for Oscars, Rob? What do you think? Is this an Oscar play, award play?
Oh, who knows? It's a 2-minute teaser. My biggest gripe about this, and I agree with what Pat and John are saying, but my biggest gripe about this is that you have to present a movie. If you do not know, if the general public doesn't know this existing IP, you need to do something that's going to attract the eyeballs of other individuals, not just people like us who.
But Marvel doesn't have to. Everyone's going to go see this. Word of mouth's going to happen, so they don't have to.
Well, but don't forget, but we have to understand that the fandom as it's around, like fanboy fandom, it can be very toxic. So you start to bend, if that needle goes the other way, you're going to start having people being like the naysayers. I think you need to have a wide net. Listen, the only reason Endgame became the #1 movie in the world was not because the fanboys kept going, is that people kept hearing about it as a movement. And you had moms going and wives and sis, and you had brothers who weren't into it, who were more sports people going to see it. Like you started getting more eyeballs. So I think that, again, you might know it. I might know it I have a brief understanding, but I don't think the general public, even a lot of fan boys or fangirls, really know much about the Eternals. And I don't think that this trailer did enough to be able to hook the average comic book fan in.
Yeah, but it is a teaser, so maybe it is meant for the hardcore fans to tease, and then the full trailer is what's going to bring in the the others, as you would say, Rob, or whoever.
It's really, really clear that they knew exactly what they were doing with the teaser, because otherwise they wouldn't have name dropped Captain America and Iron Man at the end of that teaser, right? Think about it this way: if you're watching it for the first time ever, you're like, "Oh, I don't know anything about this," but at the very end, they name drop. Right, they name drop Captain America. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, I kind of want to see what's going on. Right, all it takes is for them to say it's a link, even in the slightest, to the previous stuff. There's going to be people that are going to say, I'm going to give it a shot.
The best part about this conversation, though, is that it's very reflective of the online sentiments. This trailer has divided people from one way or to the other, and I think an open discourse is great to have those type of conversations. And I think that this conversation just proves it. This is not one of those that has gravitated everybody. This has been pretty polarizing. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, remember like what Rob was saying about how it can go both ways. Remember when Captain Marvel came out?
Yeah.
Like the internet, like half the internet, I guess, trashed it. And then that became toxic. And then everybody's all of a sudden said Captain Marvel is the worst Marvel movie. Whether or not that's true, that's...
Yeah, we're not going to touch that right now.
We're not going to talk about that, but it became a lot more than, is this movie good? It became, what does this movie represent, and why do we hate it? Right? So, yeah, it can go both ways. And I think right now, with a little bit of a teaser to kind of give you a taste, and that's it, I think it's not a bad idea.
All right, good point, Pat. Okay, so the last bit of main news I have now, the act in itself is not that big, but I guess what it means for this company is more to discuss. But Aaron Taylor Johnson, you may remember her as Quicksilver in what was that one? Avengers, Age of Ultron. Thank you. Sorry, and Kick-Ass from the movie Kick-Ass was cast as Kraven the Hunter in a solo movie by Sony. Now, this combined with Morbius and now Venom looks like Sony's trying to build like this, I guess, Spider-Man adjacent universe. Is this a good idea? Do we even care about Kraven, John?
Kraven is one of Spider-Man's most iconic characters. He never really was one of my favorite characters, but I think he's a character that you can kind of play with, and if they're going, like Last Hunt or whatever, they can definitely delve into some darker territory. But yeah, we haven't seen and it like Venom. I think Venom was the only one we've seen. Venom 1. Mobius has been delayed. Who knows when's that's coming out? Morbius or whatever you want to call it. And now, and now this. So yeah, I don't know if they're pulling. Who was it? Universal that tried to do that Mummy franchise, and spin it off into Frankenstein's and
the Dark Universe.
Yeah, Dark Universe. Maybe they're getting a little ahead of themselves, but yeah, sure, go for it. Why not?
I remember they even had that stinger at the beginning of Mummy, the Mummy with Tom Cruise of a Dark Universe. Like really, like gotta put the cart above before the horse.
Yeah. Right before the movie even starts, we're gonna drop this right now, and that didn't work out so great for them. Go ahead.
Is the success of Venom kind of giving Sony a kind of a false confidence in how these other spin-offs are gonna be successful? Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that they have obviously taken. Listen, Kevin Feige showed them the roadmap, the blueprint on how to best work and manage a Marvel-based property. They did when they did Homecoming, and then again when they did Far From Home. So they took that. People can gripe about Venom, but it made a bankload of money, and it took a little bit of what I think the Kevin Feige had given them in terms of how to produce the DNA or the bones of a structure. So then you start going on to these other movies. Did it bolster them too much to give them too much false hope to create this world? Well, they were talking about a Silver Sable Black Cat movie way before the Spider-Man stuff, and they dropped that. Spider-Woman is supposed to be being developed with Olivia Wilde. So I think, I guess the roundabout answer to your question is I think it has bolstered their maybe bravado or their confidence in building this Sony verse. Mm-hmm. But I don't begrudge it. I think that they didn't do too bad. And even though Mobius is being delayed and this and that, it does look decent. Like based on what we saw, it doesn't look like it sucks. Like no pun intended. So, I think it could do well. So let's see how it goes. Yeah. Sure.
Does this work without Spider-Man, Pat? What do you think? Or is Venom going to have to be the cornerstone here? Is he going to have to appear in every movie?
The biggest problem I have with this casting is the fact that means they're either never going to bring back Quicksilver in the proper MCU, right? Or they're going to
he got shot. He's done. He's gone.
I'm just saying. Or it means that they're never going to crisscross the two universes and bring the Sonyverse into the MCU proper. That's the biggest problem I have with it. Because it's going to raise too many questions unless we're okay with recasting characters from different franchises and within the same universe, like Gemma Chan. Unless that's not like unless that's not an exception and that's a rule, I guess I'm not a fan of it. But I'll also be honest, I'm not very excited about the Carnage movie. I wasn't huge on the movie.
Hater.
Wasn't even on the Morbius movie.
Well, it is interesting though because I feel like there's just an article. This third Spider-Man movie is supposed to be the end of their partnership, and yet there's been a lot of talk about extending this partnership forward. So
money talks.
Yeah, well, exactly. So we don't know. You know what? Listen, I don't want to be the guy who's going to shit on everything, but maybe Sony they start stumbling right with Mobius. Maybe Venom 2 kind of is a bit weird, and then they're like, okay, you know what? We can't do our own new universe. We have to be tied into the Marvel. So, Pat makes a very good point. If you are casting and you got, Eddie Brock, you have Venom, you have Carnage, you do kind of want to see them in the MCU. I don't know how it fit the way the MCU is currently going, but maybe that there is some type of cohesion, some backdoor way of getting them in based on whatever agreement the two companies will strike.
All right, we'll see how that turns out. Okay, that wraps up our main stories. Now we have a segment with Pat with pictures. It's called Did You See This?
Yes, I love this because I was actually kind of afraid that there wasn't much to discuss, but then these images popped out. I don't know if anybody saw this, but this is a first look at our boy from our
Crazy Rich Asians
movie that was exclusive to Total Film. Look, this is supposed to be.
Is this Crazy Rich Asians 2? I'm down. It's Crazy Rich Asians 2, right? I'm in.
I don't know if this looks good, but this is supposed to be Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Not only does he not have a mask, he looks like a dude. He looks like a ninja. So that's cool.
He's also not horribly disfigured, and he is also not white, so it's very different for Snake Eyes. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and he also has MC Hammer's pants. So
Hammer
As a
time.
ninja.
Those are very in style now.
okay,
Yeah.
John's
there was
got 5 pairs.
What? It will be. Thanks, John. There's also this other teaser that actually happened in the middle of like a weird Sony trailer, and it's actually a picture of Nathan of Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and whichever Wahlberg this is as Sully from the Parabellum franchise.
Well, reverse mustache Gage. Where's his mustache?
Yeah, like this was not official. It was just like in some weird Sony trailer that they were doing for like their employees. Like they were trying to do this thing with like Sony cares about their employees.
Sizzle reel.
Yeah, they just dropped random movie segments, and then there was just one scene of Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and you're kind of like, whoa, that's kind of cool. It wasn't announced, right? So these came out past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Imagine they make the decision not to do the mustache for Sully.
No,
and then the fan outrage is so much they have to CG.
And they had to put a mustache in. They do the opposite.
The reverse
and it ends up looking terrible.
yeah. Millions of dollars to put the mustache in.
I think this photo was called "Say Hi to Your Mother for Me."
Yeah,
that's what this photo is.
It's Fear 2 is what this is. No, they did release. I think that Mark Wahlberg released a screen test like last year when they were filming in a Hawaiian short with the mustache. So I think he will be rocking the mustache. But will it be? Is this, it could be at the very end of the movie. Who knows?
Something, flashback, or he's trying to disguise himself or something. Yeah.
And then today, I'm a big toy guy, Marvel guy. There was actually a Hasbro Fan Fest, so they actually dropped a bunch of images of both in works as well as in-hand product of figures such as this, our Spider-Man 2099. I'm gonna do this to make it easier to see, right? And then he looks like this. Look at that. I'm covering Chris straight up.
There you go. Chris can fit in the end there. Yeah,
Chris can see it too. So then now we have this cool looking Spider-Man 2099, and then a couple like last year they did a Age of Apocalypse wave, and then they're finishing the wave with another wave of Apocalypse figures that include a Build-A-Figure of our boy Colossus.
All right. Yes.
So this is a render, right? This is a render.
This is a render, but usually the renders are very, very accurate to what they actually come out. So you're gonna have an Age of Apocalypse Colossus, an Age of Apocalypse Magneto, and as you can see, it's a digital render, like John was saying. But usually the renders are very, very accurate, right? So there's like the Rogue. There's a Cyclops, a Sabretooth, a Kitty Pryde, all of this from the Age of Apocalypse era, an Iceman, and a Legion.
Oh, Legion gets his own figure.
He gets his own figure, which is insane, right? But hey, that's what happens when you're with Hasbro and you have the mass amount of like resources and people behind it, right? Since we're talking about toys that are on the horizon, I also wanted to make a shout out that these are coming as well. If you're into, I don't want to just focus always on Marvel toys. So there's these DC figures coming out next week as well. So if you like Batman Death Metal, these are also going to be available. Shout out to John and Heroes World, because I believe we will have these available.
Yeah, we'll either have them for this weekend or just after the weekend.
Yeah, but these are brand new as well, and it's another Build-A-Figure system. You get these four, and you combine, and you get like the Dark Father Batman,
rock and roll Batman.
Yeah. Those are the big stories I got for us today in terms of stuff that you missed or you might have seen as I scoured the internet. Hit me up if anybody.
As you scoured the headlines for internet.
Yes. Yeah, I know. That was some of the internet that I headlined.
Now I know why people don't want to host these types of things. Okay, so before I get into the quick hit segment, we got something come in kind of quite late. It was that Marvel had finally confirmed the Oscar Isaac is going to be Moon Knight. Finally, the worst kept secret. We do have a picture. Pat wants to put it up.
He has videos of himself training on the internet for this part. So
yeah, so Marvel finally confirmed it. Rob, what can you tell us about this picture?
Well, it's not a full picture of Oscar Isaac. It's only.
Thanks, Rob. Before you complain about the picture not being full, this is what it was from his Twitter. I didn't.
No. Yes. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. This is him taking an interesting selfie. So, but all of the artwork that you see behind him is all from you can tell because it's got word balloons. It's all taken from comics. There's different. You can see I guess it would be our left, but over his right shoulder is David Finch cover there. So these are all being used as storyboards to I guess to give us a sense of what the costume is going to look like and the tone in which they're going for this new Marvel Disney Plus show. So I think it's pretty cool for sure. Cool. Thanks, Rob. You're welcome.
Is Moon Knight something we should be excited to see on Disney Plus? Is this a property that people are clamoring for?
I think it'll let you have fun. Sorry, was it Pat? Pat's more of a Moon Knight guy, right?
I was going to say Moon Knight but I don't think he's terribly interesting, but Marvel and the MCU and the guys working there, they have a tendency of making characters that you don't think you care about into characters that you care about. Right. Yeah, so that's kind of what some of their strengths are, right? Like Moon Knight,
and he's not as popular as the other characters, right? So like Daredevil, they have a little bit of creative freedom to play around and do some other stuff.
Like speaking of Daredevil, I feel like if the Netflix show was done under the MCU proper, there would be a lot more people caring about the Defenders.
Yeah, no, I agree. I said this like way back on one of the Heroes World podcasts originally. I said I get you get a bit concerned of an oversaturation, and there's a lot of TV shows that Marvel is producing, and a lot more that are coming out. And you start to get I guess I think I'm a half, glass half full type of guy, but I also think I'm a bit of a realist, and I start to get a bit concerned that maybe there's just going to be too much happening. If you
glass
start
is half real.
Half real. If you start releasing 4 movies a year, plus you're having 10 episode shows twice or 3 times a year, that's a lot of Marvel content. And people are going to be like, yeah, but so what? Who cares? But the market will only dictate, right? So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited for it. We'll see how it, yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing about Moon Knight is that, yes, like John was saying in the comments, he is a character who actually has some type of multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see them tackle that, and hopefully they do it with tact, right?
Yes.
They wouldn't position him like he's crazy, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So as long as they do it that way, I think there's a lot of value, even as social commentary.
Yes, no, I completely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, even Punisher, they did a lot of PTSD type stuff, which was
cool. Right. Like if they do it that way and they do it with tact and careful and respectful of the idea, because remember, Moon Knight was a product of like the 60s and 70s when schizophrenia was multiple personality disorder.
Yes.
Right? So
yeah,
if they do it with tact, I'm completely okay with it.
Yep.
All right, so that's the Moon Knight segment. Our next segment. I like to do like a bunch of quick hits news items, nothing that requires too much in-depth analysis.
Shut up, Rob.
Rob. I did pitch a bad name for it last week. I'm just going to call it quick hits today. And I'll
wait, what did you call it last week?
I called it the Speed Force.
Oh God, that's right. I forgot about that.
You purged that from your mind, so I hate to bring it back.
Big Panther.
Okay, so I'm going to go through some headlines and get some quick reactions. This one is specifically for Pat. He specifically requested it. The live-action Powerpuff Girls pilot was shown to executives at CW, including CEO Mark Pedowitz, it's an unfortunate name there, who described it as a miss. As a result, they are going to rework the pilot and refilm it at a later time. I would say, is this a good sign, or should they just give up on this project entirely?
I think it's worth trying, but it's good that we're scrapping it because the pictures that came out did not do it justice. Next.
Yeah. It was described as too campy. John, can that ever be a bad thing? Too campy?
Yeah, if you saw the pictures were not well received, even though they were just pictures of on set. I hope Donald Faison is still involved, though. I love that guy. So,
Rob, could you care about this less?
No, I couldn't give a flying fart. But
Rob is older.
But for those who are fans of this property, I am very happy for you that they are retooling it. That they didn't just ditch it. They obviously
they should care. They should care and redo
it's the same actors that are still going to be tied to it. The same showrunners, and Greg Berlanti is still attached. So they are going to retool it. So I'm happy for those Powerpuff fans. that they're going to retool. We'll see what happens. Listen, if they have one more kick at the can, if they shit the bed on the pilot that they do again, then that'll be it. So fingers crossed.
All right. So in new Evil Dead movies coming to HBO Max, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell producing. Is this a groovy idea, Pat? Are you a Evil Dead fan? No? Okay, Rob, you've seen Evil Dead. Is a fourth movie a good thing?
Oh, well, now you're getting it's a trick question because it's more than just 4 movies. Don't forget the Army of, you got Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness. They did a reboot as well a few years ago.
Show. They did a TV show.
Well, Ash versus that. But so, anyways, your question is: this a movie, story, or a TV show?
It is a movie.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
John,
this guy is this character Ash is like a part of like I don't know, horror movie royalty, pop culture. Yeah, this is groovy, baby.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, shut up, you. But yeah, I think definitely, it has a fan base, so definitely just keep doing it. If Bruce Campbell, if I can,
wow,
that's an easy name too, and I can't even do it. If Bruce Campbell is involved, then 100% do it.
Yes, but you just made a very good point. The character is enriched in pop cultural lore, but is it the character or is it Bruce Campbell's portrayal? And if they don't have Bruce Campbell, you got to have somebody that's literally going to fit that mold to carry that character, right? You can't just throw a chainsaw on anybody's hand. So.
Now, the cast list didn't say that Bruce Campbell was starring. He is a producer.
Yeah, so that might be a problem.
Be maybe a mentor.
That might be a problem.
Cameo. Yeah. I was going to ask you guys, but I guess I don't know if you guys would have one. But a favorite Evil Dead one-liner. I guess the chat can provide some for us.
Yeah. I'll go with my guy going. You'll all be dead by dawn. I don't remember. I've
never seen any of those movies, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was Army of Darkness where he says to the girl, baby, you got real ugly.
I always like the
shop smart, shop
Mr.
smart.
I think it was hello, Mr. Fancy Pants when the guy's saying his all his accolades.
That's
all right.
right.
So next one. So J.J. Abrams in an interview somewhere, I don't know exactly where it was, he basically quoted himself. So he quoted saying, I do think there's nothing more important than knowing where you're going. Basically, expressing his regrets on how the Star Wars franchise or that Star Wars trilogy that he helmed kind of turned out. Is this the biggest? So basically saying he didn't have a plan. Is this the biggest no duh statement of the year, John?
I don't know. Yeah, if he actually had no plan, I was like, they let too many people get in their heads and kind of went all over the place, switched directors and whatever. I would have liked it if all the other movies kind of lined up with that first movie, and now you got like all these rewinds and all over the place. So yeah, I'm not surprised if they were able to tear it up that quickly. But I assumed it was a product of the way movies are made today, that they're letting so many things get in there and so many people's reaching their hands in the pot or whatever. But yeah.
Well, basically, if you don't know the history of it, basically, to save time, they had 3 different directors for all 3 movies. Abrams was supposed to start and kind of set the groundwork, and then the second, Rian Johnson, I think, was the second director, was to pick up where he left off, and then they had Colin Trevorrow after that. Colin Trevorrow left, and then Abrams had to re-pick up his kind of all the storylines. Yeah,
and try to reverse. Yeah. So see how complicated it is for you to just explain what actually happened. So yeah, I'm 100% not surprised if they didn't really have anything going forward.
But I think that this should be pointed out that this should not be a condemnation on J.J. Abrams. And I think people automatically went and said, "Yeah, dummy! Like, why didn't you do this?" This is more reflective of Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm on what they wanted to do. JJ came in, he told an open and closed story, very much like A New Hope was, or the original Star Wars, right? They obviously wanted more, but he was never part of that. So I just, people, maybe because he helmed 2 out of the 3 movies, people like to shit on J.J. Abrams for the failures of Star Wars. But I really think that people need to step back and take a look at it. This is not on his shoulders.
Yeah. What do you think, Pat? When you make a trilogy, should you have a plan going in?
No duh.
No duh. Exactly. All right, switching gears a bit. Rumors are flying right now that the Switch Pro is going to debut in this fall. It features a 7-inch screen and a OLED screen, that is, and a 4K output. Pat is the resident video game aficionado. Is this a must-buy, Pat, for the fall season?
Depends on actually how it actually performs. But honestly, if you've been holding up for a Switch, now you should probably just might as well wait for the new one.
Yeah. Our parents everywhere are going to be like clamoring for this on a Christmas season. Rob, what do you think?
No, we got a Switch for our kids the first year it came out for Christmas. It's not in our wheelhouse. The kids barely ever use it, to be honest with you. So no, not at all. My only hopefully the Pro controller will actually come with a headphone jack for the new Switch. That would be nice. But yeah. So no, hey, good for Nintendo. But I mean, it's not very long in its life cycle. Pat, what are we? 4 years?
We're 4 years. Yeah, usually they have one upgrade that time. Yeah.
Yeah, but an upgrade. Yeah, but this sounds. Is this an upgrade or is this like? It sounds
a whole
like
new
it's
system, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just like it's not like how PS4 went, PS4 Slim or the PS4 Pro. It sounds like it could be like a whole new.
I think it's actually closer to PS4 to PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah. So what do you think, John? Is this an adult play or more for kids?
It's gonna sell because the Nintendo guys are gonna buy it up. How many Switches do you own, Pat? Just a quick reference to a Nintendo nerd.
2.
So he owns at least 2. So he's probably gonna own 3 by the end of this.
I own a light and I own a regular one.
Yeah.
Both
See, so he's already
Pokemon branded.
Yeah. So now he's gonna own a 3rd one. I guarantee it. So it's fine.
All right.
So is this for you then, Pat? Is this something that September you're pulling trigger at EB Games and grabbing this?
100% is.
Not yet.
You're a pre-order on this, right? Pat's a pre-order.
Unless there's a specific game that requires the new system to play. Yeah. What is the rush?
Okay.
I would wait for it to release a special edition that I want, or
well, no, but the reason I asked though is because we mentioned the PS4 Pro. A lot of people jumped on that because they wanted to game in their 4K. They have a 4K television, so the fact that this new Switch will have the potential for 4K, that might be enticing to people. So I didn't know if that was Pat was in that camp or not.
If the games were look good in 4K, right? A bunch of games that are on the Switch aren't necessarily even optimized for 4K. So if I'm going to be playing old Switch games, what is the purpose?
Yeah, fair enough. Yep. Right. I didn't know if they could do an up-resing or not, but you make your point.
We'll know at E3, and I'm sure we'll cover it.
Yeah, that's probably where it's going to be revealed. All right, and some more casting news. Jeremy Irvine, exactly, I don't know who that is either, confirms that he is going to be playing Alan Scott in the Green Lantern TV show. Or sorry, it's a movie or TV show. I don't know. It's
TV show.
Green Lantern TV show. Okay, adding this to the already confirmed Guy Gardner. Is this something Green Lantern and people should be excited about? I'll go to the comic guy first, John. Is this a character
these are gold? He's a golden age character. Rob can correct me if I'm wrong. But Alan Scott, he was the Green Lantern that had weakness to wood. But dump bump, and is now like a completely new character at this current point.
Away from a strip club.
Anyways. Yeah. So he's a fan favorite. So a lot of people love that character. So bring him up. Where is he represented otherwise, right? So bring him in.
Yeah. You excited about Alan Scott, Rob?
I'm indifferent. So they retconned his character a number of years ago to be openly gay, which I think is great. So I think that's the route that they are going with for this TV show. And I'm not gonna. This is not a spoiler because they haven't shot a single film of footage yet. But he is only signed. Apparently, this is only for a 1-season appearance. So take that how you will. And he's also. Like, will it be that, something happens to him or he just is only in for 1 season? Also, his power is not based on the Green Lanterns that you and I know. His is based on magic. So it will be a different... yes.
He's not powered by, the battery. He's powered by magic, which is why he's weak to wood. Okay.
Yes. Just take him to an apple orchard and he's messed up.
All right, we'll do a couple more here. In a skit for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Zack Snyder directed a special Snyder Cut episode. Now, this was a joke. He's poking fun at himself, a lot of his, lots of green screen tropes and things like that. Are we reaching a point of Snyder saturation? Is he going to be doing Snyder cuts on things that don't even involve him at all? John, what do you think?
Why not? I don't know. I saw Army of Dead. I actually had a fun time with it. So sure, you know what? He busted his ass doing this Justice League thing. Supposedly he didn't get a dime from it. So you know what? Let him enjoy the limelight a little bit. Yeah, bring him on your shows. Make him direct an episode. Support his Army of the Dead. Support whatever projects he's doing. And you know what? If you don't like his directing style, just watch something else. Like it's not that hard.
I have no problem. I have nothing like for or against Zack Snyder.
Pat wasn't on board for Army of Dead, and he just didn't watch it. No skin off his back.
But I mean, if going on Colbert and doing all these stuff means that he gets a lot of this, I'm okay with it.
Go get that money button. What do you think, Rob? Snyder showing off more of his comedic chops?
Yeah, I don't really care. Exactly. What I don't think it's that big of a deal. Is it oversaturation? No, I don't think so. I think it's fine. But just as a side note, the Army of the Dead that John mentioned, I didn't realize they've already filmed that prequel. It's in the can. They are just doing on previs, so you can probably and now he produced it. He didn't direct it, but that might be coming out in early 2021 or so.
Tell me when the Sucker Punch
2022.
Tell me when the Sucker Punch Snyder cut appears, then I'll pay attention.
Hey, that's what people are asking for. They're asking for Sucker Punch Snyder Cut edition, and maybe it'll happen.
All right. So last one. This is another Pat special. Disney revealed a more action-packed trailer for Jungle Cruise, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt, heading straight to Disney Plus July 30th. This is another movie based on the Disney ride. Will it be more of a Pirates of the Caribbean smash hit or a flop like Tomorrowland? I'll go to Pat first. What do you think? Obviously, Pat, what do you think?
I watch anything with The Rock in it. So
Pirates?
I mean, John and I watched Baywatch. Let me just say that. So let me just throw that out there. No, we didn't just watch Baywatch. We saw it in theaters, so we paid for it.
We did. Okay. We did see that in theaters.
From a more objective point of view, Rob, what do you think? Is this going to be a huge hit?
Don't ask me.
It's a good question. It's being released in theaters and Disney Plus Premium, so you got to pay your $30 for it if you really want to see it. Will it be a hit? Yeah, I guess so. I'm sure it'll be a modicum of a hit. I just don't know what's a hit anymore nowadays with this, especially with the summer. So we'll see. Am I going to see it? I don't know. I might just, to be honest with you, I would probably wait the 60 days before it hits regular Disney Plus.
What do you think, John? Are you and Pat going to get
what's
together?
What's it about? Yeah, well, definitely, yeah. If movie theaters were running, we and Pat were going to see everything every week, so we would have definitely added a movie with The Rock in it. But what's it about? Is Jungle Cruise a ride at Disneyland?
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean was. Yeah. If you watch it, it's the trailer. It's the exact same premise as The Mummy. Remember that first The Mummy with Rachel Weisz and
Brendan Fraser?
It's the exact premise.
that movie did well, so
yeah.
Throw The Rock in it.
So you're telling me Emily Blunt is going back to her action roots? Edge of Tomorrow, guys. No?
Yes, she was amazing in Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat or whatever you want to call it nowadays.
All you need is kill.
All you need is kill. Yeah. But
guys, Pat made a pun, and he's really upset that nobody acknowledged it.
Okay.
Done.
I got it. Look at these two. They don't even know.
What's the fun?
No, don't worry about
What's
it.
The fun?
Next.
That's it, man. That's all the quick hits I have. I'll leave it to actually, you know what? We'll play a game. I didn't tell you guys about this, but we'll let the chat decide. If you guys can grab the closest thing or the coolest thing you can find within arm's reach and show it to the camera, and we'll let the chat decide who wins.
I'm in my
arm's reach. Let's go.
That's got a whole wall of
Is
stuff.
John gonna win by default?
No, Rob, don't break your crap, man.
I have a whole wall of video games, but I'm gonna grab this Anna Kendrick biography that I just had on me.
That you've never read. That you've never read.
I've only read it. Like legit, I am in my video game hall, and I'm gonna for the purpose of this content, I'm bringing my copy of Scrappy Little Nobody.
There's your screenshot. There's your screenshot, John. Okay.
Rob, please do not drop your statue.
Yes, please be careful, Rob. I think
Rob's
Rob's got the bag, but yeah.
People are saying I win, but Rob has the most expensive thing on screen right now. Pat's got the thing with the most content in it. But
He's
damn,
got the most questionable thing is what that is.
No, but it's a book. It's a book. It's got a lot you can learn in there. You can learn the life story of Anna Kendrick and her rise from her difficult rise from whatever she did. But hella if Rainbow Nerds aren't tasty as hell. And I don't even think that's up for debate, like the licorice that Rob always busts out.
I said show it to the camera, not sell it to everybody.
This segment's been brought to you by Wonka Candy.
Okay, I didn't tell you guys I was gonna do that.
I have an inbox copy of Pokemon Blue.
Oh, that's money. That's money.
But you went with Anna Kendrick, so we're done.
You went cool thing. Oh, I got this Anna Kendrick book right here that I didn't read yet.
All right. Obviously, John's in control of the chat, and he's just gonna put up all the ones where. No, I'm kidding. All right. So
here. Jonathan Yo actually thinks Pat wins.
There you go.
But then he said he was wrong. He's like, I was wrong, John.
We should have just stopped it there.
All right, I'm gonna throw. That's all I have. I'm gonna throw to John to send us off. He's gonna tell us what's going on this week in the Heroes World podcast land.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for tuning in to the news. I think its new home is going to be on Thursdays at the moment. So if you like this content, definitely let us know, and we'll give Chris and Pat a little more room to grow as what they want to run for this. Pat's going to read his scrappy little nobody. I don't know what's going on with my computer here. It just booted me out here.
Well, we can still see
Sorry.
you. We can still hear you.
Yeah. I don't know what it did. It like closed my window and I was like, oh God, I'm gone. Anyways, so Heroes World Podcast, new episodes every Sunday. I don't know what we're covering this week, but we are coming back with the Sidekick Show on Monday. Sidekick Show every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
What the heck is going on here?
We're gonna be is it the finale of it's the last day of May, and it's appropriate because it's the finale of our Keanu Reeves month of May, and we are finishing it off with John Wick 3 Parabellum. I believe it's currently on Netflix and maybe, I don't know, Crave or whatever. So if you haven't seen it yet, please do us a favor. Go and stream it, watch it, and then join us on Monday evening at 8 o'clock, like John said, right here on YouTube, also on Facebook and Twitch, and jump in the chat and discuss the movie with us as we go through. And I'm sure John will be bringing up the rest of the categories of who the better assassins are.
We're ranking all the assassins. So there's a lot of players that enter the field in the third movie, and we'll also probably give you our overall thoughts on which of the three movies we thought was the best. And so and then Rob said, I think he said it was on Amazon. John Wick 3 is available on Amazon Prime right now. I was actually surprised to see that. And then we did drop a couple trailer reactions. So if you guys are down with watching people, I managed to catch 3 different people today with a surprise trailer reaction to Cobra Kai season 4 that Rob gave me the heads up for. So that's pretty fun to watch someone completely blindly react to this. So thank you, Sarah, Gordon, and Tim for doing that for me. And I think that's it, right? Do we got anything else? Rob dropped a brand new video. Rob dropped a brand new video. On his 905 channel about the Superman and Lois comic book, as well as the Superman omnibus, kind of tying the two together. And he's got a lot of other fun stuff on there. So definitely subscribe and like and comment and make fun of his snack choices. And sorry, Chris, where were you going to go?
I was going to say, I guess we can close off the segment with what do you got going on for the weekend? I forgot to mention that. That's a segment we wanted to start doing. Pat, what do you got going on for the weekend?
Among Us is free on Epic if you guys want to download it.
Let's play
and play.
Let's play.
It's free.
Let's figure it out. Let's all get online. Everyone in the chat, all of us. Yeah, let's get online and play. Let's play Among Us. Yeah. My daughter loves that. My daughter loves that.
I don't understand it. My kids play it. I don't know what's going on.
Werewolf, man.
I just walk away.
Rob, what are you checking out this weekend?
Well, I got to power wash my mother-in-law's deck, so
you spaced that out and phrased it kind of weirdly. So.
Whoa!
But in terms of checking things out, I don't think I have anything. I think I'm getting ready for the second episode of MODOK drops on Disney Plus tomorrow on Friday, so I'll be watching that again. But I'm getting ready for Sweet Tooth next Friday. I'm gearing up for that. So.
What's up, John? You gonna rewatch Army of the Dead?
No, I got to watch John Wick 3 so we can do our content. The Friends reunion just came out today, I think. So I want to watch the Friends reunion, and hopefully we'll have some content for that coming up. And I'm a big fan of Big Shot starring John Stamos on Disney Plus. So I can't wait for that new episode to drop this Friday. So I'm down. Anyways, go ahead, Chris. What do you all got on tap?
For me, it's that show I've been watching on HBO, Mayor of Easttown, the series finale on Sunday. I can't wait to watch that. So. If you like murder mysteries, that's a jam. Also, I need to watch Army of the Dead. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, get on that. Come on.
Yeah. That's all.
All right. Sorry, I was just checking in with what other people are saying. So Among Us, some people are down with Among Us. So yeah, let's wrap this up. But thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. And get at us. Let us know what segments you like. I think we ran pretty smoothly today, other than scouring the headlines for internets. But actually, I think that is fantastic. I think that I don't think you can open up the show with anything funnier than that.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna make fun of John about
mispronouncing names. Yeah, I can't even say Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I got it. Bruce Campbell.
We're going with this, Thursday night news recap where we scour the headlines for your internet.
Yeah, I think we're on to something. With that note, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.